easy to sprint, it's hard to run a marathon. What wrestling demands from you was so engaging and it was fun, and I think it kind of helped me to just be out of my own mind.
She's always open to a new idea or a new concept. She's a thinker.
We went on the mat and she was hungry to learn, and I felt like, wow, she's driven to be Olympic champ.
Every match, it didn't matter who I was wrestling, like people would just flock around the mat. It was like I was a spectacle, like, oh, let's see how the girl does. My first year, I started wrestling when I was 7 years old. And I went to my dad and I said, I'm doing everything that the boys are doing, but they get to compete and I don't. My first match, that was the only match I won all year. I was 1-30 that year, and I got to continue wrestling. This is my first ever wrestling room. One day my mom was like, Helen, kick your shoes off, just run in there. I just loved wrestling, but people were not a fan of girl wrestling was when I started getting good. If a guy has a bad practice or a bad day or slacks off, it's like, hey, get it together. If I do it, it's like, this is why you shouldn't be wrestling. This is why girls don't wrestle. What does it really take to be an Olympic champion? And I'm like, am I doing enough? You can't operate from a place of fear. And I think I just had so much fear about not wanting to lose that it just paralyzed me. I went from being the #1 to now cheering in the stands. And it was like one of those things I was afraid to ever say out loud because I'm like, what if I'm the person that can't ever win something?
You want him to overreact. Now he has to open everything to get out. Here he's still strong. Here to the leg, like to the leg.
To work with Valentine, you really have to humble yourself, and to do that, I have to treat myself as like a first-year wrestler all over again.
You start talking about some challenges. Every time she would answer, I want to win the Olympics.
Things just started changing.
She started to believe in herself. She can beat anybody in the world.
It stopped becoming about like, oh, I need these results in wrestling, and it started becoming like, okay, I might be good. You just heard it's like this legend, like Saori Yoshida. You know, she doesn't lose, Saori Yoshida. Nobody's unbeatable. No one's unbeatable. I just felt like for me, the edge was gonna be knowing that I really, for 4 years, I was committed to beating her. But you still walk in with the same thing that everyone else has. And that's just yourself, your wrestling shoes, your singlet, and you step on the mat.